after everything that's been said about that second Deku Nut upgrade, it's finally time to go and get it. Now I'm going to show you the path to the forest stage again in case you forgot and you don't want to look it up in whichever video it was that I went there the first time. Heck, I don't even know which part it was, so you probably don't want to look up every last one of my videos either. So that's the path to follow. You remember that place. The butterflies are supposed to mark the hole, but I'm having trouble finding it apparently. Come on, anytime. Can I find it? Thank you. Okay, now that we're down there, I'm just gonna pop up the menu real quick and go for the Mask of Truth. And their reaction is not gonna be quite the same as last time. Last time they worshipped me like a deity. Now they're all like, Harpaderp! Look at that. Anyways, I said before, it's the only Lost Forever in the game, so you need to have the Mask of Truth at this point of the game, which is obtained by doing the Happy Mask side quest in its entirety. And all that effort leads to an upgrade for an item that I won't ever use. Just great. But it's required for 100%, so I guess I just had to get it and show how to get it too. Next Skulltula actually requires some effort. Yeah, it's in the Dodongo's Cavern, and it's going to require us to go backwards through a pretty good chunk of the dungeon. So remember that shortcut that we opened up last time with this pillar? We're actually going to make use of it. Our target this time is going to be... Remember that room where we made a staircase fall down with a bomb flower chain reaction? Well, it's in that room, except that this time we want the staircase to stay up. Oh, wow, that's awesome! Navi didn't even get a chance to tell that to me the first time I was here, so she tells me that way too late. Anyway, this room here, well, there's no sense in staying here any longer than we need to, so we can just go down there. Be careful. Those slashers. Nope, doesn't seem like it's... Whoa! Well, at least I was on the ladder, so couldn't catch me there. Yes, so... now, as I said, you want to go backwards through a fair chunk of this dungeon. So, yeah, those fire keys can just go fuck themselves. They're not that much of a threat. So, okay, now we're... Oh, yeah, we're in that room. Well, we gotta do it again. Wouldn't you know it? You have to do it every time you enter it. So, okay, now... Oh, man! No, I didn't want to do that. But, yeah, I wanted to use the boomerang on one of them, but the other attacked me while I was trying to do something about it. But, otherwise, except for that little hiccup, you're gonna love the boomerang whenever you have it. Just awesome. So, now we should end up, yeah, we're in the right room. So, now that the staircase is up, we're gonna be able to go up a little further through that vine there that we can't access whenever it's down, and we gain access to an alcove where the Skulltula lurks. So now all we have to do is the same thing as usual, 2 hits with the boomerang, grab the token, and after that, well, we're out of here. Next Skulltula is in the graveyard, the Kakariko graveyard. Oh, hi, Dampe! But yeah, the Skulltula is over in that corner. So, you wanna throw the boomerang twice, once again. Same thing as usual, not much of a challenge, at least it's not nearly as far-flung as the one in Dodongo's Cavern. I think not many people would think of looking there and in that way of all things. I'm referring, of course, to the one in Dodongo's Cavern. Now we have a few things to do in the Kakariko Village. First, I'm going to show you, well, it's not exactly a sequence break, since we can get it the way it was intended to in, like, 15 minutes or something. Well, maybe not 15 minutes, but the moment we can get it the legitimate way is still very close. But nonetheless, you can get it as Child Link right now with the boomerang. Now, it might take a while, because I'm not very good at this throw. I got it on the first try! This, like, never happens! Let's Players curse? What Let's Players curse? Usually it takes me a few minutes to get it, and I get it on the first try while I'm recording it. That is awesome! Anyway, other thing we can do here right now, we're gonna head back to the House of Skulltula, because by my count we're supposed to have 43 right now. So, now that we have at least 40 of them, we can get yet another prize, which is a few bomb chews. Not the best... Sorry about that. Not the best prize, but still, it's a rare item, and I get some for free, so hey, not complaining. Not complaining at all. Now, there's nothing left to do in the village itself, but just on the outskirts of the village in Hyrule Field, there should be a tree. At least, I think there are 2 trees, and I can never remember which one is the right tree. Anyway, you gotta put a bomb at the foot of the tree. No, don't want to do that. I think it's this one, but I'm not too sure. So let's try it out. Nope. Gotta love the sound it makes, like you're slashing it continuously, but it's a bomb that just blew up right next to it. Yeah, real appropriate sound effect there. Anyway, nope. Maybe it's here. Alright, I love when that happens. When I kill a few style children with the bomb while I'm trying to get in there. Anyway, Skulltula here, and this time I can't ignore it, so I'm just gonna have to deal with it. Not that it's that difficult, you can see the golden one right there. So, same thing as usual, basically. Excuse me! Didn't aim high enough, I guess, and, okay. I missed, but then it came back and hit it. I love it when that happens. It's not the first time that happens to me, but it gets a chuckle out of me every time. Now we got 44 Skulltulas, not a single heart piece left over, and 11 heart containers. That means that we have absolutely everything we can get as Child Link right now. So, just gonna play the Sun Song real quick so that the gate comes down, because, well, this is it, folks. We're about to advance to the next phase of the game, and we're not going to be able to come back here for a little while. So if you want to know everything that you need to have at this point, 44 gold Skulltulas, 11 heart containers with no leftover heart pieces, and both upgrades for Deku Seeds, Deku Sticks, Deku Nuts, and Bombs. And also the wallet upgrades, but you can also grab these as Adult Link. There is no restriction on when you can get them, but it's preferable to get them as soon as possible. So, this is the Temple of Time, and as you can see, there's this little altar there. So I'm gonna go over to it and play the Song of Time. And one thing that I'm wondering, you know, if someone really wants to get into the back room that bad, why don't they just bring a wrecking ball or whatever it is they have in Hyrule that demolishes buildings? I mean, it's just stone walls. I mean, it's not something that should be particularly difficult to destroy. And, you know, I went over all creation getting those spiritual stones, and I got engaged to a crazy half-fish bitch against my will, so yeah, this was a complete waste of a life, all to open this freaking door. Whatever's behind it must be really freaking good to make up for that. And it doesn't look like much real estate from here, but as Navi's going to point out, actually about to get our hands on something very, very valuable. It's a freaking sword, an actual one, to replace our goddamn butter knife that we've had since the beginning of the game. Yep, it's the Master Sword that's been in countless Zelda games, starting with Link to the Past. So, yeah, what are we waiting for? Let's pull it out! Since, well, apparently doing so is going to screw over Ganondorf big time. Or maybe not. Yep, we've done all this just to get outsmarted by Ganondorf. Well, that was a waste of 19 segments! And Link's life, too, because he's engaged to Princess Ruto. Yeah, gotta keep bringing that up. So, Link's engaged to Princess Ruto, and Ganondorf's about to take over the world. Awesome! Next time I see Zelda, I'm going to punch her in the face for coming up with that stupid, unworkable plan that had no chance of working to begin with. So, anyway, now we wake up in some kind of weird room, which I'm gonna spoil it. It's called the Chamber of the Sages, and the guy who's talking to us, as soon as the camera finishes panning all over the place, thank you. This guy is Rauru, the Sage of Light. Now, Rauru might seem like a familiar name. It actually comes from Zelda 2. There's a town named Rauru in Zelda 2, and Rauru was named after that town. Though, if you're going by timeline order, the town was actually named after the sage. But, whatever. There are 6 sages in this game. All of them are named after Zelda 2 towns. And incidentally, we've met a whole bunch of characters named after Zelda 2 towns, so now we already know who a few of the sages are. But, awesome news! We're not little wimpy kid Link anymore! Nah, we're badass adult Link! And Navi, understandably, is spazzing out over that fact. So, yeah, just to sum up the whole story here. When I pulled the Master Sword out of the pedestal, it allowed Ganondorf to pick up the Triforce, and, well, I would go ahead and reveal a big plot point that's only revealed near the end of the game, but apparently there are a lot more than 3 people who haven't played this game that are watching this, as I joked about in the last video, so, no, not gonna spoil that major plot point. But anyway, Ganondorf got the Triforce, and the Master Sword was all like, you know what? Screw that! Hyrule can go fuck itself. They can live in misery for 7 years under Ganondorf's rules. Link, you are not old enough to be the hero of time, so I'm gonna put you in suspended animation for 7 years. And as I said, Hyrule can go fuck itself in the meantime. And that sword is called the Blade of Evil's Bane. And yet, it's the very same sword that decided that Ganondorf should rule Hyrule for 7 years. Yeah, doesn't make much sense, but hey, Nintendo logic, who am I to argue against this? So basically, Rauru is sending me on a new quest now. We got 1 sage right here, and I gotta awaken the 5 other sages. As I said, we already pretty much know who 4 of them are. Last one we will encounter much, much later in the game. So, that means that for each of these sages, to awaken them, we are going to have to go through dungeons full of peril, and ouchies, and annoying puzzles, and water! You knew I was going to mention that. But, yeah, every time you awaken a sage, you're going to get one of those nifty little medallions, which, functionally, they don't do anything. They don't give you a new power, which would have been cool. They're just, you know, a proof that you beat the dungeon, you awaken the sage, congratulations. They're just there so that the status screen has something to show you for actually beating those dungeons. Find the other sages and save Hyrule. Well, we're gonna get started on that next time.